here's the logic, and we can discuss this because we got some time, okay? And you can ask questions, okay? So if you got questions, raise your hand. I'll unmute you or whatever, and you can either type them or either way, okay? So here's the logic. Sam says he's got a monster play, and depending, I'm thinking of throwing in a ton of money, and then we see. But here's the thing. Let's say I put in 100 grand. It can go to zero. If I put in 200 grand, it can go to zero. If I put in 300 grand, it can go zero. If you're up way for the year and you're taking a shot, maybe you're taking a shot. But here's the problem. It's not this year's shot. It's next year's shot, okay? Why? Because we're going to buy all the way out to January 21st. And if you want to spend a little bit more, it's even better to get the January 28th because their earnings are on the 19th. Okay, but here's the logic. Okay, the stock is ASML. Okay, but here's the sequence of events. The sequence of events, and this is where Sam is Sam and nobody else is Sam. Okay, the sequence of events. The first thing that moved, Qualcomm. They came out, they guided up, and Qualcomm was way down there, 130, 140, and we took this sucker all the way to 185. 40-point move, and we crushed it, okay? And we bought it after it started. So Qualcomm moves, right? Then a week later, Micron says, Micron, they make memory chips, says everything is great, and they didn't guide up, but they basically told you they're guiding up. So it starts to run, okay? Well, if you make memory chips, who do you buy the equipment from? You got to buy the wafers and everything else. You got to buy from Lam Research. So Lam Research starts, and it goes from 570 to 700 in 3 weeks. So Lam Research is moving. Then Marvell, who makes chips, data center and all these other chips, Marvell, so they guide up and they crush earnings and it goes 30 points. Wow. Sam, you're out of control. You nailed this one, okay? Then AMAT has a 10-point day. AMAT never has a 10-point day. Go back in history. Even on great earnings, maybe one every 2 years, and it's not even earnings. And AMAT makes equipment, semiconductor equipment, wafers and all this stuff for different types of chips, okay? So it rips. So now you have 4 chips that are running. So Sam comes up with this logic, and he buys, I think he tells Letitia to buy, Avago. She's going to kill me. Okay, Avago. And the logic is all the chip companies are guiding up massive. I mean massive. And then Avago, yes, and because the market went down and because my position was too big, 200 contracts at 620, we sold them from 4. So we took $35,000. And then Avago beats yesterday. They beat. They guide up. They raised the dividend by 13.8%. They do a $10 billion buyback. Jesus. Maybe they just do the buyback. Maybe they just guide up. Maybe they just increase they do all of them. And it's up 40 points. 40 points. Well, they're an overseas company, and so I'm sure that they're buying a bunch of equipment and stuff like that from the company we're talking about is ASML. So Lam Research, now ASML missed earnings before this all started, right? Lam Research missed earnings, AMAT missed earnings, everybody missed earnings before all this started. But now this started, so now everybody's beating earnings. And ASML was 880, so it's 770. Yesterday gave us a great opportunity, and we bought some. So we already bought this position. We bought some of it. We didn't buy all of it. We're going to buy one bunch more, and we're going to leg it. Okay? And the position is the ASML, January 21st expire, the January 28th expire. January 28th is better. It's going to cost you more. You get an extra week after they report earnings. Okay? So unless something goes bad in a month, in theory, all of these are going up. Okay? They're going up. Lam Research up 100, AMAT up 30, KLA up 30, Teradyne up 30. ASML is the one that hasn't gone yet, and they're going to go huge. So let me tell you. So here's and then there's some planning around this, right? So let's say Sam puts in he buys 100 contracts at 15 cents, $115,000, $150,000, and it goes to 1,000. We think it can go to 1,000. So that goes to 1.5 million. Okay, so if you buy 200 contracts, it's 3 million. But let's say you're a small account and you only buy 10. That's 15,000. Goes to 150. Let's say you're a really small account and you only buy one. That's only 150. It's 1.5K. Right? But here's the thing: you have to expect it to go to zero. I'm telling you, it will and can go to zero. So this is a late year if you've made money and you have profit trade. If you don't do it. If you don't do it, go out to and buy the 925s for $1 or $2, there'll be $3, and only risk 300. That's it. Don't risk money unless you have a profit. Okay. So know this. Okay. So that's the play. It's the ASML. I like the 850s, but here's the thing. This was 830. 820, I mean, it was 810 yesterday, the day before yesterday, and those options were 26, and now they're only 15. They're only 15. If the market gives us a chance and it goes down another 25, those will be 12. But every one of these companies is guiding up. So this is based on what everybody else is doing. And if this gets high of year, it's absolutely going to get 950. Now it has to get higher of year. It doesn't mean it's going to get higher of year, and maybe the whole position goes to shit. But I don't think so. I think this thing, after the next semi-equipment company guide, is going to start its explosive move to 1,000. Okay? So that's what I see. That's what I see coming. Okay? So that's the play. That's what we have to see. Do not post this on public Twitter. I will boot you within a second. Okay? Don't do it. Don't tell people. So but now let's talk a little bit more about, so we found this play. It's very similar to MDB. We found it, and Omid will tell you about it, and Omid screwed it up, and then Sam screwed it up too before. So we bought MDB a month, 6 weeks before earnings. This one is the 19th, so yeah, 6 weeks before earnings. Okay? So we bought a MDB, not this earnings period, the earnings before. Okay, Tesla's diving. Elon may leave. Interesting. So we bought MDB, and we bought them in, I don't remember, it's like 11 or 12 bucks. And then they went to 16, then they went to 20, and then they went to 25, and we sold them before earnings. So let's say you buy these ASMLs at 15, and they go to 20, and they go to 25, and they go to 30 in 3 weeks. Very possible it could be 30 in 3 weeks. Okay? Do you want to sell it? See, nobody can tell you that. That's up to you. Maybe you sell it and say, hey, Sam, yeah, I took this 15 to 30, this is great. I'll buy it back. But here's the problem. When this happened on MDB, we sold it. And Omid kind of screwed it up because Sam screwed it up. Because Omid said, Sam, I followed you. I'm screwed it up too. We all screwed things up. There you go. Okay, and I say because Sam screwed it up. Sam was going to buy it back. Right? So, I mean, I had a couple hundred of these MDBs. So we make like 300 grand, whatever it was on it, right? I don't remember what it was. But the thing is, it never gave us a re-entry. So let's say that 30 never comes down and goes to 40 and goes to 50. Mentally, even Sam has some mental problems, right? You can say Sam has mental problems. There you go. That's a good. People are going to cut this and say, "Oh my God, Sam says he missed the problem." Here's the thing: is if you buy the 850s and you sell them at 30, you're not going to buy back at 50. There's no way. But let's say then the 900s are 30. You know how hard it is to pay 30 for the 900s when you had the 850s at 30? Very hard, mentally. So we didn't buy the MDB back. They went to 120. I see this is the same play. How do you play it? Maybe you sell it and roll up. Maybe you sell half of it. Maybe you roll up with profits. I don't know. But I know that when this goes, it's going to absolutely explode. Very, 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 very far. Okay. That's what we got.
Sam, the only question is, I'm not really familiar with their with their management. Are they?
But let's not talk about that yet. Let's talk about the logic.
Okay.
What do you think of the logic?
No, I think.
And anybody that has questions around this, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think that pattern is obviously across the board, and it makes perfect sense. I like it. I mean,
but think about this, Omid, while you're thinking about that. The logic of buying a Vago a few days ago, and I said it in the room, was wait a second. We use the exact same logic, right? I mean, Qualcomm ripped, Marvell ripped. A Vago has to rip. The problem, what happened is we went into this SPX roll, we went into this CPI, and we ended up selling it and still made 35 grand, but we would have made 500 grand. So, but the logic, right, Omid? It's the logic. Now, what Omid's telling you is maybe the management screws it up, but the management can't screw it up, Omid, beforehand, right? They can screw it up after.
Yeah.
So that's what we know. Okay. People are asking. They came in late. Here, look. This is going to be recorded. It'll be put on my private Twitter. Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Omid. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well. Anyway. Like we talked about, it's the CPI number that's is a widely expected event. We talked about it. So Sam went over the scenarios. I agree with him. I think 0.7 month over month. If it just kind of comes in line, then it's as expected.
Okay, hold on. Omid, you're jumping. Maybe you're jumping because I jump all the time. We're still talking about ASML. You were talking about ASML management when I interrupted you. Very bad of me. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, but yeah. On ASML, I think that if you really think about it, that's the one name that is not at all-time highs when you look at Lam Research and some of these other names, Qualcomm and just pretty much like every name in the chip sector, right? So very possible that this follows suit, right, and gets to that 1,000 number, And the only question I had is, can management? But like Sam said, that's after the fact. It could this thing could run basically ahead of it, right? So the semi sector has been hot in the third quarter in general. So it's kind of it's gone back and forth and consolidated in the second quarter or so, and then it just basically started taking off in the third. Well, I should say fourth quarter, right? So we're almost done. Excuse me, fourth quarter.
So one other thing, let me interrupt you here. Let me tell you one other thing, guys. And some other people have figured this stuff out. If Sam's going to go buy the 850s, you don't have to buy the 850s. You can buy the 860s, or you can buy the 840s, or you can buy the 900s. You don't have to buy the same contract, right, Omid? Very easy, right?
Yeah, and I do that all the time.
And yesterday, when we started buying them, the 850s was the best because it had dropped 11. It dropped 11 on a 30-point move down. If it moves back up 30 points, they're going to be at $27, and Omid's going to say, wait a second, Sam, I'm up 12 points. I have no patience. I'm going to have to sell these. right? But that's a good problem, right? That's a good problem. Okay. Thank you, Omen. Thank you, Omen. Okay, let's get moving on here because this thing is coming, the CPI. I don't know where it's going to come in, but let's talk about some of these other things that can be impacted. Okay? If it comes in at 1%, maybe the market craters. But then is that a bottom number? See, here's the thing. The way the market trades, and Omen will tell you this in a minute, if we come in at 1% on CPI, which is 12% for the year, is that a bottom? And from there, it gets better, and we don't get it anymore. And see, that's how the market trades, right? It looks for a bottom. We don't know. Okay? So let's see about that. If we come in at 0.7 or 0.6, that means they're going to probably still taper higher. They're going to raise rates. And who's the beneficiary, Omen? Who's the beneficiary? Come on. Starts with a G.
Goldman Sachs.
It has a G, and it has an S. We bought some of these. Does this go to 416 today? Possible. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. Moderna is getting cratered. Tesla, Elon. There's a thing out there that says, does he leave? Does he quit all his jobs? Well, I'm telling you this. If he were to leave, the stock is down between 200 and 300 instantaneously. Maybe it comes back, maybe it doesn't. It will go down.
He wants to be an influencer.
Who knows what he wants to do? But here's Sam. Sam does this, and he does this every day, and he doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need money. Sam can do whatever he wants to do, but he does this. And every once in a while, when people piss me off or whatever, I just, do I want to stay and continue to do this stuff? Is you don't know if this is just, he's upset at something. He's just like, screw this. People give me shit about selling stock. I'm just going to leave. And he can leave. So don't think he can't leave. He can leave. The stock can drop to 700 within a minute. And then he can come back a month later. That's very possible too. Or he can spout up in a different company. If he leaves, how many companies are going to offer him everything? Right? So just know that. Very possible, very possible, very possible. Know this. Okay? Okay. What else you got? Anything else, Omen? We'll get going. But remember, everything will change after the CPI today. Okay? Interesting. Now, I will tell you, if the CPI comes in at 0.5, we're going to be at 47.50. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So that could kind of change things, and from what I'm reading is the market is expecting the Fed to announce a faster or accelerated taper next week's meeting. So if it comes in line, then maybe all is expected, right? So I don't know. We have to see, right? But it could change the trajectory of the day. So let's see. And then the other thing I was going to say is, Avago said some good stuff. They're just, the cloud business, they talk about that. That's very strong. Both Oracle and Avago talked about that. So that should be positive for Snow and the other cloud guys. But they did say that the inventories remain very lean. Chip lead times is extended, but saying it's stable, also meaning that it's not getting, it's not getting worse. They talked about their customer list.
Let me ask you this. Who raises their dividend that big? 13.8%.
Yeah.
Massive move.
And a big buyback.
Yeah. And it's just massive. Oracle had a big buyback too, guys. Oracle had a big buyback too. Interesting. Okay, let's get started. And,
Sam, the other thing they said, which was huge, is they said they're booked out for almost the entire 2022 into 2023. That's huge for just semi-space in general, right? Booked out.
Amazing. But
anyway.
but this Sam's theory, guys, just think about this. Do what's best for your account, okay? Maybe you buy ASM or maybe you don't. But think about this. Qualcomm rips 40. Marvell rips 30. Lam Research rips 130. AMAT is having 10-point days. Avago hadn't moved before this. We hadn't even been watching Avago. We hadn't played it for 2 years. It hadn't moved. And now it moves 50? Wow. Just think about this. This is so set up for an insane move. But think about your strategy and don't screw it up and don't ask me because I'll never answer your question. Sam, are you holding it? I will never answer your question. You do what's good for you because it's going to go up substantially before the number. And then you have to decide what to do. Okay, SPX up 14. Does it stay up? Does it drop? If it gets back to 4,700, 4,732, 4,752, NVIDIA, this is another one. It's coming down. It's coming down. Let it come down. 299, 291. And then when they report, it's going to be 2 months out, it's going to go back to 350, 360. ASML, 832, 882. LRCX, 716, 721. Avago, 626, 632, like I said, and 652 is where it can go. Jesus. Restoration Hardware. Keep an eye on this. If the market rips, could probably be back to 652. Amazon, 3552. Snowman, 372. Shop, 1452 down. 1552 up. Roku, if this gets back to 266, it can go to 300. If this gets back to 215, it's in trouble. Lulu didn't work off screen. Nobody's buying Lulu pants. Well, they are. They're just not ripping them. There you go. Okay. We'll leave that one alone. Goldman Sachs. 403, 409, 416 would be wonderful. UPSD, we're gonna add a week and go right back into this one. 203, 203. Now we had a problem with the guy because just cannot believe people do dumb stuff. Sam gives you a number, 203. You can buy it before, or you can buy it after, or you can wait till it's there. You do what you want to do. I'm not telling you it's getting there. I'm telling you that's the next number. If it gets through there, it's going to explode. Very straightforward. If you don't understand that, you shouldn't be trading at all. You should be playing with your kids. That's it. Because you have no clue on trading. Sam just gave you a number. Sam just gave you a number on Lam Research. 716. You can buy it now. You can buy it before. Or maybe it gets through, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? These are support resistance points. Very straightforward. Okay? Then we see. CMG 1752. If it gets through there today, 1771 accelerator. BNTX, the biotechs these are just going lower. Let them go lower. The numbers don't make sense. And I did the analysis the other day. 252, 231. Moderna down 30. Wow. 225. So Moderna, and they're down not because of the vaxes. The thing Moderna has going for it is their technology doesn't just work for vaccines, it works for all type of diseases. And their flu thing that the phase 1 came in okay, but didn't come in great. So it's down. Then we see Google. Looks like 3009. Tesla. So two things on Tesla today. Somebody reported Elon may quit his jobs, both jobs, all the jobs. If it comes out and somebody interviews him today, over the weekend or Monday, and he says he's putting in serious thought of leaving, Tesla will open down 200. If he says, no, I would never leave, Tesla will open up 100. Wow. And maybe he doesn't comment at all. Then we see, and then we see. Okay? Tesla under 100. Aha. ASML next generation. ASML has 30,000 employees. Absolutely. It's a monster company. It's not a small company. Okay? That's what we know. Wow. Okay, everything will change. We'll be in the chat room. We'll post about the CPI. Let's see what happens. If it comes in at 0.7, Goldman Sachs has the opportunity to really fly. If it comes in over 0.7, maybe we die. If it comes in under 0.7, maybe we rip. Stocks go up, stocks go down. Everybody have a great trading day. See you in chat. Thank you.